feeling? Welcome to Carlie's Couch. Lex, how you feeling?
Welcome. I feel good. It's kind of late again, so we're doing another night episode.
Carlie's Couch After Dark.
Yeah. After dark.
But today we're super excited. I am super excited.
Because we got our first guest. I'm like trying to twerk in the seat, but I don't hit the mic.
Because it makes weird noises. Sorry about that. Y'all probably hear it.
Yeah, so today we are going to talk about taking risks, and I wanted to invite my friend Derria. Ta-da! You have to watch on YouTube to see how glowy her skin is.
How amazing she looks. Always.
And how her mane of glorious hair is flowing in the air-conditioned
Mm-hmm.
room.
Giving you Beyonce vibes.
Hey, y'all
She
definitely
does. I tell every time she puts on her little sharp sunglasses, I tell her she got the little Beyonce look every time. But I'm gonna introduce her first. Everybody doing good though, right? Derria, you doing good?
I'm good.
That's good. You're good.
We all got work to do after this.
I know that's right. Yeah, but you'll learn more about her hustle in a second. So I want to introduce Derria. She is also from. Do you say you're from North Carolina?
I was born in Buffalo, New York.
Right.
Moved to Charlotte when I was 8. So Charlotte's home.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm kind of like a two. I just say like North Carolina's home just because it's easier to explain.
And people get well, my friends like, you're not from Buffalo. You're from Charlotte. I'm like,
why everybody want to claim where
I
I'm
don't
from?
know.
Let me
Don't
say what
tell
I
me
wanna
where
say.
I'm from.
Like
My
where
family's
my
all
friends at?
there. I lived there for 8 years.
Okay, cool. So QC D-Lolo on
D-Lolo.
Twitter and on Instagram, right? Everything's the
on
same.
Instagram, yep.
And I met her in North Carolina through my brother. She went to UNCG with him, and I went to her probate. And
Oh boy.
we weren't like besties or anything at the time. It's just kind of like a mutual friend. And then she moved to Los Angeles, and I think I learned more about you and got closer to you here. Because then we started hanging out more, started talking, and I'm learning a lot more about her hustle and why she moved here, what she's trying to do. And I'm always very much inspired and enjoy talking to anybody who feels like excited when they talk about what they're interested in and talking about their purpose, which Derria always is. And she kind of inspires me too, because she's like about that action. Like we'll talk about things we can do for her business or for her brand, and then next thing I know, she's like, "Oh, I already did the worksheet and I already did this." Oh, sorry, that's my impression.
Really?
I can't wait till she starts laughing. But Derria, I very much respect you, and I'm very glad that you got on the podcast with us because I think you have an awesome story, and hopefully we can dig deep.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
And we're so excited. Our first guest, and how fitting to have an amazing woman entrepreneur who's out here hustling, chasing her dreams, and inspiring other people to do the same thing.
I try on a daily basis.
I know that's right.
Man, you don't try, you do. You're doing on a daily basis.
I'm doing.
There we go. But it's interesting. I met her through Lex, and I was like, oh, she's like really cool. And then later found out like, oh, she's a Delta. That happens often. Hey, Soror. But then I followed her, and I was like, oh man, like all my fashionista friends already follow her because she's fly, y'all. She is so fly, and she gives great tips and great shopping things. Let me let her talk about that. Sorry, I got so excited.
What did we go to or something?
It was the the interaction exhibit.
Okay.
Yep, interaction.
The exhibit.
It's like a social action, social justice platform, and they pick different topics. And this year was police brutality, I believe. No, mental health. I went to the police brutality one, but we went to the mental health one together. And they rent out a space in downtown LA. They get all artists of color who are working in the same field. It's an amazing exhibit, and people like cool. Common and other artists and people in the space fund it.
And we did watercolor, and we painted.
Oh yeah, we did like some kids,
right? Yeah, well, we gave us snacks.
Right.
We are kids.
No, yeah,
I love it.
I like
Big
stuff
kids.
like that. Well, I'm glad that everybody has met because I feel like I have kind of different groups here, and I keep like mentioning people to Derria, and she's like, I haven't met him yet, but now I think you like know most of the people that kind of all run together.
Yeah.
So let's get into it, Derria. Tell us what your passion is, what you do, and we'll dig more into it. But just overall,
I would just say clothing or fashion.
Why are you hesitant to say fashion?
I don't know, because I guess it's so broad that it's not just, I'm throwing on something and I want people to see me wear it. Like, that's not what I feel when I touch clothing feel, that's not how I feel. I want people to feel good when they put on clothing, and whatever I put on, I want to feel confident in it. So that's my passion.
So it's not necessarily just looking at something to say this looks good, but it's about the full effect.
The feeling,
how it makes you feel.
Yeah. But what about it then? So do you make clothes? Do you just shop? Are you a stylist? Like, how do you describe what you do?
I am a personal stylist. I personal shop.
Mm-hmm.
So I touch it all. Well, yeah, clothing, clothing, shoes. That's it. Yeah. So, that's what I do, and it's funny because with Instagram or social media, it's been cool to kind of shop for people that aren't really my clients. It's just my Instagram friends, and I'm like, hey y'all, guess what I saw? You
and then they be hitting you on the stories like 2 days later, like, Derria, I got these jeans, I got these pants.
But then they're like, I'm gonna block you. I don't know how many times people have said they're gonna block me.
Because that's the big thing that you didn't say is that, and I guess I gotta edify you for yourself. I know sometimes it's weird like talking about yourself, but you are like the queen of finding good deals. Yeah. Because I can slide Derria $20 and I have like 40 pairs of shoes.
Yeah, I'm saving my
points.
I'm not even joking.
Yeah, you are. Cut it out.
So
she like, wait, don't put no expectations.
Amp up my wardrobe. But I love that and how you emphasize about how to make people feel. And I have been watching your stories. And I'm like, oh, I can't go to Target at all because I will spend all my money.
Don't do it. It's so funny because everybody, like, I posted something and they were like, man, I was going to go to Target, but I can't go now. Because I'm going to come out spending at least $100. I'm like, I'm sorry, go. At least it's on sale.
Look, I'm going to say it again right now because I know everybody's probably like, well, what is her stories and what is she putting up there? At DLOLO.
Yes.
DLOLO. DLOLO. We're taking risks with DLOLO
Yeah,
today.
go check it out. So then tell us about your brand, because I feel like you had either a few, like, was it trying to feel it out and narrow down to what you wanted to focus on? Because I know your main thing that I see is what would Derria wear. But over time,
right? Over time, yeah. So Style Me Derria was my brand for personal shopping and styling. And so I had just a website that kind of showed you my gallery of the work that I've done and stuff like that. And you can contact me for me to shop for you and stuff like that. And then, like, recently, within the last few weeks, I've been trying to rebrand to what would Derria wear, because a lot of what I post on social media is what I'm wearing, what I'm gonna buy, or beauty, lifestyle, things like that. So I'm kind of trying to separate them in a sense and go more towards what would Derria wear, because that's something that I'm doing on a daily basis.
Was it not as much a personal brand at first, and now you're trying to make it more personal to you?
Yeah, because at first it was just like, that's where you go to see what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And I've been blogging for at least, it's been like 6 years now, but I'm more serious about it. I've been more serious about it within the last 3 years. So, just trying to rebrand it and make it to where I feel comfortable with it. Like, it's not, Style Me Derria is not where I just go see Derria's work. It's like what she's wearing, what she's talking about. Like, I want to see what Derria's doing.
Yeah, and I see that a lot with your followers. Like I said, all of my friends who are fashionistas, I had already followed you. Yeah. And it's just cool to see, when you're shopping and when you're putting things together. You were cleaning out Lex's closet at one point, doing a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah,
threw everything away.
But I don't know as much about your story, so how did you, did you always do this, or what were you doing, and did something
take
happen?
Take us back to North Carolina, because
back in the time.
What I want to get to is, all right, you figure out this is what you want to do, or at what point did that happen, and then how do you, what was like a breaking point to say, okay, I need to do something different,
right,
or make a move or make a change?
So, like Lexi said, I went to UNCG and I studied business administration. So it was just like real basic. I wanted something broad, something easy. I didn't want to be in the library a long time. I didn't like studying and all that jazz. So studied that, didn't know what I wanted to do with it. Got into HR, so that's what I do full time.
Still do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That pays the bills right now and funds the passion.
No, we talked about that too, because a lot of people use that to fund what they're trying to do.
Exactly.
You gotta keep it real out here.
Very real.
Rent is expensive.
It's not gonna stop. Bills
Especially
don't
in LA.
stop.
It's
Exactly.
Really
Yeah.
But so that's what you were already in HR in North Carolina.
Yep. And so I continued that because I knew that would bring me some real money, and regardless of where I was. And then there was a point where I was staying on my friend's couch in North Carolina before I moved back to Charlotte, and I was like, I had a few friends that were like, look, I know you like to shop. Can you just go out and even one of my friends got me one of his, like, a credit card with my name on it from his bank account. Like, that's why I was like, oh, this is real. Like, you really want me to shop for you. So, I was just shopping for friends. And then I'm like, man, I really like doing this. Like, I'm not spending my money. I'm spending your money. But I'm like, for me, going in the mall, it's like it feels good. Like, I can just go in the mall just to look. Like I know.
Somebody got to.
So it's times where my mom's like, Derria, you're always in the mall. I'm like, Mom, I just want to go in and be around the clothes. I want to see, like, what's new. So I can be like, if somebody asks me, like, man, I need this shirt. Like when you said, oh, Derria, I need a black turtleneck or something. And I'm like, all right, I know where we can go get that or whatever.
We literally walked in and was like.
And it was right there. So it's like, that's what it is for me. It gives me a really good feeling. So if I'm feeling bad, I'm like, I just want to go to the mall. Not necessarily wanting to buy anything, but just to be around clothes. They don't talk to me.
So one thing I like that was interesting about what you said is other people recognize that in you.
Yeah.
Do you feel like your friends and other people pulled it out of you to really go harder in that direction, or like give you the confidence to say, you know what, I do want to step more into this?
Well, yeah, and it wasn't even, like, intentional. I think it was just, like, they knew that Derria's always shopping. So why not shop for me? I need this. I'm going on a trip. Can you grab me some stuff? Like, here's $200, whatever you can do with it. And I come back with 50 things, and you're just like, oh, shoot.
See, that's magic.
So, yeah, I'm just like, it just, for me, it's natural. So I just kept kind of doing it, but I didn't know necessarily how I could get
paid off of it.
Yeah, how is it, where is it going to go to the next level where I'm like, this is what I'm doing full time, which I'm still working on. But, so that was Greensboro, when I was still in Greensboro after graduating or whatnot. And then, I ended up moving back to Charlotte because I was like, look, I want to be around my mom and my family, and I'm still styling and personal shopping, and I'm getting more into, like, photo shoots. So I'm doing photo shoots. We're doing themed things. So I'm, like, grabbing stuff for, like, steampunk stuff I've never even heard of. Yeah. So that's getting me into that. And I'm like, oh, this is really cool. I like that. So I'm doing something different in a sense. And then, let me jump back really quick. So when I was in Greensboro, I knew that I wanted to move to LA a long time ago, like when I was younger. Like I had came to LA with a cousin, my cousin Ginger. We came to visit when I was like 13, and I was like, what is this?
That's a good time to be like,
I know. Wow. I was like, oh my God, we went to Rodeo. I'm like,
oh my God. And you just knew.
Oh, what? This is it. I'm like, this is, and it was warm. I'm like, okay. So back then I knew I wanted to move to LA, but I just didn't know how it was going to happen. But it's funny. I started applying for jobs in LA when I was in Greensboro for some reason. I don't know why. I just started doing it. And then I got like a call, and they're like, hey, we want you to come. We want you to like come and interview here, and like in LA. Like, oh, cool. And so I like got on Twitter, and I'm telling my friends, and they're like, look, I'll send you, like, all of my friends are like, I'll send you the money. My line sisters were like, yes, I'll give you the money. You just go. And I was too scared.
Oh.
I was too scared.
So what changed?
Yeah, what happened?
I don't know. It was just, it's weird. I hate to be crying on here like this, but it's now.
We keeping it real now. Because now it's like, to
it's
say
awful.
You can make me cry, but now to say like I was too scared, but now you're here.
I know,
like,
I know.
It's like,
wow. And it's funny because I almost like I always like regretted that I didn't just go because my friends wanted to support me. They were wanting to give me money to get over here. So a ticket, depending on the quick turnaround, it could have been a good $1,000 to get here. So I'm like.
And you mean just to do that interview?
Just to do that interview.
Just to see what happened.
Because I had already gone through one interview, but they wanted to interview me in person. So that basically meant, like, it was probably going to be good. Yeah. So, yeah, I was too scared. And I was just like, no, I just signed my lease. I'm not going to. It would just be too much. And I didn't know anybody, of course, that lived here. So, yeah.
So
that was before you went back to your family.
That's before, yeah. So then I was like, Derria, just regroup, figure out exactly what you want to do. Stayed in HR, whatnot.
What does that timeline look like, though? From this time you didn't take this interview until moving
That
back?
was like 2013.
Okay.
2013.
So it's still recent.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So, started another job in Charlotte, got a new place, and I still kept doing photo shoots, still styling, personal shopping and whatnot. And then I just started feeling stagnant.
Something's missing.
Yeah. I was like, well, what am I doing here? Like, I'm going to Walmart. I'm seeing people I went to elementary school with, and they know me, but I don't even know who they are. You know, like, I mean, come on, like, elementary.
Ooh, everybody has that.
Unless we were, like, really friends, how am I supposed to know who you are? So I was just like, I love family. I love friends. They'll be here. So I was like, something's got to change. So I moved out of my apartment after my lease was over and whatnot. Moved back in with my mom, which is a blessing in itself because, you know, not everybody can go home.
Yeah.
And she was like, just come home. I'm like, okay. living rent free because she didn't really care. She was like, whatever. She loved having me in the house. And so I was like, all right, Derria, you're going to move back in. You need to save up your money. Because in my mind, I was like, now you need to start giving yourself some type of, like, timeline. Because you move back in, yeah, you're not paying any rent. But it's easy to fall back into that whole, like, I don't have no bills. I'm about to ball out of control. Yeah. So I'm like, Derria, you cannot ball out of control. You know, because, of course, with me being, like, a shopper, like, it's easy. So...
And did you enjoy your job, or it was just like a job?
I'm telling you, like, it's just a job.
Just a job.
So,
yeah.
When you were saving, did you have like a goal? Like, man, when I save up this much, or when this happens, then I'm gonna do it, or?
So at one point, it was just like I didn't have a goal. I knew up front that it was going to be $1,000 to get my car here.
Okay.
So I was like,
yeah,
$1,000. Just make sure you can at least get your vehicle here, and then whatever else on top of that, because I didn't know what to really expect as far as rent went. I mean, I knew it was expensive, but I didn't know. I mean, I paid $800 in Charlotte, and in Greensboro I paid $300.
I was about to say my last rent in North Carolina was
Oh
$500.
my God,
it was $300 too.
Yeah,
Oklahoma was $300.
That
is so cheap.
Yeah.
So So at one point I was not really worried about. As long as I had the $1,000 and I was just like putting money on top of that or whatnot. And then it just hit me like the summer of, what was that, 2016. I was like, all right, God, I don't know what I need to do, but I want to get to LA. Like, that's what I want to do. I want to move there. I want to experience new things. I want to eat new foods, you know, like try new restaurants. Just rub elbows with the right people, meet new people, you know, like be somewhere where nobody's gonna know me. I mean, unless you follow me on Instagram, I don't know. But I'm just saying, like, where nobody knows you. I think I needed the new feeling, you know,
the comfort zone.
Exactly.
Like, completely.
So a couple things. Do you feel like in Charlotte, like people knew you, like for example, like you could walk around here, well, not anymore maybe, but like when you first got here, like you could walk around and it's like you still feel like you have to prove yourself or something, like you still have to make a name for yourself, versus in Charlotte you already felt like, all right, I've hit a ceiling here.
Yeah.
Or that you hadn't even really got started there like that. Like it was
really just starting.
Then.
Exactly. But I feel like I got to a point where people obviously knew who I was, even outside of like, oh, we went to school with Derria. It was like, oh yeah, I follow you. You're so cool. I like your style, blah, 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 or whatever. And then like things were really starting to pop out for me. I was getting more clients. I was doing more shoots and stuff like that. And then, so even when I did find out that I was moving to LA and I was telling people, they were like, why are you leaving? Like, why? Everything's going good. Like, why would you do that? Why would you move? And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I'm thinking like, I mean, and mind you, some people don't want to leave home. Like they've never left home, and that's fine, but don't.
You felt like there's a lot of people around you who didn't see a bigger vision.
Yeah.
Or they were comfortable, maybe.
Yeah. I think it was a lot of that. It was. But, and I you know, I appreciate the good and bad advice. Because it helps you, like, really feel secure in yourself. Because you're like, well, if it's something that I want to do, I'm going to do it. Like, no matter what anybody tells me.
At what point, though, did you feel like, was there ever a point where you were hearing that and being like, yeah, like, I don't really need to do anything, and then it changed? Like, Or were you always like, all right, at some point it just clicked, and now no matter what people said to you, that didn't affect you anymore?
It had to been when I for sure knew I was moving, because it was her. Like and we'll get to it, but like there was a couple things even with family that I was just like, whoa, y'all are wilding. Like it's one thing to come from a friend, but when people say stuff and it's a family member, you're just like, oh,
yeah,
you know.
At what point did you know? Like you said, it just happened.
Yeah, so it clicked one day in the summertime, and so I had been praying about it. I was just like, God, okay, we've established that I want to go. So what is it that I need to do? Because I'm applying for jobs like for months, ever since for that summer of the summer of 2016. I'm applying for jobs or whatnot. And nothing's coming through, of course, because they don't want to hire somebody who lives in North Carolina. Yeah, I'm using Lexi's and Ashton's address, but it's like, what are they going to, they're not fooling with me, because I'm like, well, shoot, how am I going to get there for that, that interview on Monday? It's not working. So I wasn't able to get many, like, job offers or anything, any interviews at all. And I was just like, how can I do this? Like, now I'm really, really saving money. And, I just kept praying. I started fasting. So I was like really, really focused. And, oh God. So one day I was at my desk, and at this point I had been fasting for like 2 weeks. I was sitting at my desk at work, and all of a sudden I hear this voice say, Derria, quit your job. And it freaked me out, because clearly I have conversations with God, but like I have never heard his voice so loud ever in my life. And so I'm like, oh shoot. I got up from my desk, I ran, I called my mom, and I'm like, Mom, like, he told me to quit my job. And she's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, God told me to quit my job. I had been waiting for like a sign. You know how you're always like, send me a sign. I couldn't. But listen, I did. I didn't ignore it.
He was like, well, one more day.
right. No, seriously. I was like, all right, God, I know it's you, or maybe it's me telling myself something, because the way we talk to ourselves. Right. So I was like, okay, God, if this is you, send me another sign and I'll go with it, So like, literally 2 or 3 days later, I have a Shopify account because of course I sell like my stuff, and I got a random email from Shopify, and the subject line said, quit your job. And it had a resignation letter attached. I freaked out.
Oh my gosh.
Freaked out.
God was like, you ain't missing this one.
Right.
It was weird, and especially because it was like a real email from Shopify, but it was clearly from him. And it was just like, for entrepreneurs who may be working a job and they may have a store, like, quit your job. Here's a sample, resignation letter, but it just was like, all right, Derria, this is it. Like, you have to do it. So after that, I sat my grandmother and my mom down, my brother down, because those are my people. And I was just like, yeah, I'm leaving. I'm moving. I don't know the exact date, but it's going to happen within the next couple months, because he told me to move. So I have to move. I can't sit anymore. So after that, I was like, all right. So that was like during the week. I was like, okay, let me go ahead and get this resignation. So they sent me the letter. So let me go ahead and write it up, type it up. And I went on Monday. And at this point, with my current job, or that job, I was about to be promoted to HR manager. So I'm like managing people already, and I've worked my way up. And I'm like, man, this means more money. So like, imagine that. Being able to like stay where you are, stay comfortable, stay around family, get more money, and be more comfortable.
Yeah.
And it really is almost like it's a test. Like, all right, do you really want it?
Do you want this or not?
Yeah.
It's so funny, because as you're telling your story, I'm like, well, you answer not, because I was like,
I know.
What does security mean to you? What does this mean? And you're telling the story. And, and I love it.
It's beautiful.
So I could stay home, be comfortable, be around family, make more money. Maybe move somewhere real nice and snazzy in uptown.
No, that's right.
Or I could move to LA like I've always wanted to. And I'm like, Derria, come on. You asked him. He told you you need to move. Right.
Twice.
Exactly. You better listen to him.
Yeah.
So I'm like, because I can't miss my shot again, especially because when I said that first time I didn't go, and I'm like, all right, everything's kind of aligning up now, so I need to move. So yeah, I went to work on that Monday, and I was like, I sat my manager down. She's like, oh wow, we were like in the works of promoting you to HR manager. I was like, yeah, but I really want to move to LA. It's what I've always wanted to do. I don't have any kids, so I think it's time. She's like, well, I definitely understand, but why don't we just transfer you over to the office in Culver City?
And you hadn't thought about that.
Look, well, no, I did, but I couldn't transfer as an HR manager because the headquarters is in North Carolina. So I couldn't do what I was gonna be doing. But she was like, well, we'll just we'll transfer you. You can still kind of manage from afar, but you can do it until you find a job. So I couldn't get a job.
Yeah, no excuses.
No excuses.
Yeah, no excuses.
I called my mom as soon as I got her. I was like, Mom, guess what God did? He transferred my job when I was having issues finding a job. Like, didn't even, I didn't think they were going to want to transfer me, but they did, and they gave me more money.
It worked out.
It did. It really did. I was working from home for a minute, because when I tell you, taking a risk, it's great, but you still have setbacks. So, I think anybody who's moved to LA has gone through some stuff. But, yeah. And I moved August of last year, so it's been a whole year that I've been in LA.
Well, snaps up for that.
Seems like it's been longer than
I
know.
I know.
Girl, it's crazy. Me and Lex have talked about this before. How God works things out in a way that you couldn't have planned that. You know what I mean? Like to move the job and to do that. So that's
the fact that it's like, sometimes we worry and think so much about, like, how are we going to do this? How is this going to happen? How's this happen?
Right.
When it's really, like, if you just focus more on the, like, what you want, it's like you said, you thought about this started lining up. You start seeing this, this happens. And it's like, sometimes you don't have to worry so much about how it's going to work, but you just need to know, like, what you want with intent and, like, go after it.
Yeah, and go after it.
Have you ever read
Outwitting the Devil? Oh, yeah.
It's just like that story, because Napoleon Hill is like that, where it's like, all right, you're going to keep hearing the calling, and until you push it down so deep, you're just going to lose it, and you're just going to regret it forever. So
absolutely.
Now that you made that move, what's changed about, like, how you feel about going for it? You know what I mean? Are you more likely to be like, all right, I don't know how something's going to work, but I'm just going to do it? Or, like, how do you feel now about having made that switch up?
It definitely has made me stronger in my, like, passion. Like, so there's obviously things that I'm working on right now that kind of scare me, because I know, like, number one, it's going to take a lot of work and a lot of sacrifice. But it's like, Derria, do you know if you, like, literally didn't sleep for a day and just did all the stuff that you need to do, you would have exactly what you want. So it's like fear. But it does, in my mind, I'm like, you can do it. Like, even just going back, I even bring this up to other friends who are going through things. I'm like, you pledged. To me, that sets you up for everything that you go through in life. And that's, not everybody will understand that, but it's like, for me, that because I pledged, and that was voluntary, in a sense. It was voluntary. It's like, I could go through anything.
Yeah. When you say fear of what? Like, what keeps you from doing those things that you know that you need to do, or what's in the back of your head that kind of prolongs that process?
Fear that maybe it won't work out, or like and I hate to say it, because there's a part of me that doesn't believe that. It's like, Derria, come on. You have the tools, you have the knowledge, you have the experience. So where will you be if you just tried it? Like, you just gonna come back right here. You're not gonna go any lower than what you are.
Yeah.
So,
sometimes there's a fear of success. Too.
Yeah, I know. And I think that's what.
Because then it's like,
it sounds crazy.
It's almost like you got to keep going harder. Now you have to maintain, or like, can I maintain this?
Right. Because I know, even like every day I get in the shower and I'm praying, I'm like, God, I just want to get to a place where I'm making 2-3 times what I'm making at this job, and I need you to help push me and motivate me, because of course working 8 to 5, coming home after sitting in traffic for an hour in LA, I don't really want to get on my computer, but I know I have to blog. I know I have to get up here and throw some posts on Instagram. Like, I have to work. So I just know it does get scary, because I know I'm going to have to work 10 times harder once I am a full-time entrepreneur. So it's like, am I really ready for that? Like, but I am, because I sit at my computer at work, and I'm just like,
right.
Benjamin, he wants to get paid 15. Okay. Like, I don't care about it. I don't. But I also have to remember, like, God bless me with this job, and I'm going to act like I'm working for him. That's how I have to do it, so I can get through my days. But it's like, I have to do it. So yeah, it definitely helps me. It pushes me harder. So there are nights where I'll go get me a Bing, and I'm staying up till 5 a.m, even though I gotta go to work or whatever, just so I can try and knock stuff out. So you know,
I go to the gym at 5 a.m.
Or go to the gym at 5 a.m.
Jeez. I took Derria to the gym one time, and now she in there every morning at 5 a.m.
Right. Oh my gosh.
All right, Derria, quick story, just to bring us back around now to like life in LA.
Okay.
I remember you first moved here for a little while. When we went to what's the thing in Melrose? Not the flea market. What you call
Melrose Trading Post.
The Melrose Trading Post. And they have like vendors out there, and they're selling clothes, all kinds of goods and stuff like that. And I remember these 2 guys walked up to me and was like, "Are you Lextopia?" And like,
it was so funny.
Harry was taking a video of it, and I was like, "Oh my gosh! Like, who are these people? I don't even know who they were." But I think they were from North Carolina. And they were like, "Are you Lextopia?"
It was so
And she kind of made fun of me. And then now, like a month ago, we go to an event and we're out, and then people are like, "Oh my gosh, D-Lolo."
Really? I don't even remember that.
Yes, at that power thing.
Oh yeah. Well, I know her though.
But still, I think it's so funny that like.
Oh no, I didn't know them. Sorry, I knew a few people there,
she
but
was
not,
like, I like your style and all that, and so I think it's so interesting how, you have been here for a year, but I feel like you do go so hard with your content and making sure, like, you're so disciplined with that, because
you are so disciplined.
I don't ever like put anything up.
My question literally is, how in the world do you keep up with content creation? Like, you can see it literally, because you are so consistent and it looks so well put together and well thought out. I'm like, oh my gosh, she be killing it.
Well, I just, not just, but like within the last year or so, it's been like, Derria, this is gonna be that's how you're gonna make money. And you can I mean, obviously this is the social media age, so we know that if people aren't seeing you, then what are you doing? And it's not like, oh well, if you ain't posted, you ain't doing it. It's like, no, I know that if I post about this suit that I just got and I hit folks with this link, then I'll make money from it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just through affiliates and stuff like that. So I'm always hitting up Lex, like, Lex, hey, what you doing on the weekend? What you doing Saturdays? Can I come scoop you? Can I feed you? If you take my pictures on my iPhone X, and we're knocking out at least 4 looks. So I've gotten to a place where I'm like, all right, I need to do at least 4 or more. And so I'm trying to build up like a vault of stuff that I can post, because it does get overwhelming when you don't have anything to post and you're like, oh shoot. What am I gonna do? What am I gonna post? Because it's like, now I've gotten to a place where I'm like, man, I don't really want to take my own picture, and how can I, like, maybe I need to get an angle where somebody has to stand above me and do something, like, it's,
and how can you keep outdoing it almost, like,
exactly, because you want it to look nice, and yeah, and you want to keep the aesthetic looking nice, because I want my timeline to look a certain way, and want to make sure I have 3 pictures in a line of this look, and then I have brands who like send me stuff and I have to post it. It's like,
how can you be authentic with that?
Exactly. Because I don't want people. Exactly. Because I don't want people to think that I'm like, oh, she got paid something for that, and she's trying to sell us this flat tummy tea, and she don't even use it.
But what's interesting, with flat tummy tea, But what's interesting is that you do keep it authentic with the different brands and clothing, right? And because it's not like you just all of a sudden popped up and started, like, people giving you clothes, like, that's already been your thing. So
right.
It makes more sense.
Yeah.
Like, if people try to send me a shirt, and I'm like,
I don't post.
I'm not gonna be enthusiastic about that, like posting it or anything.
That makes sense for me.
Right. But I think that because you're so authentic with it, that it makes total sense, and that I feel like people are more so like looking for what you're about to put up and looking for what you're about to wear it versus, oh, she always trying to sell something. Like I feel like everybody who's in your audience, you've cultivated a community that knows like what you're about, so it makes sense.
You that knows Derria.
Absolutely.
Or that think they know Derria.
Yeah, right.
Because social
media. There are some folks that like. I'm like,
that's always awkward too. You be like, still got a lot of stuff to do.
So
go ahead.
What was it? So you're building a brand. You have a full-time job.
Yes.
You work on your content creation. You're building so many other companies and ideating other things. Like, how do you balance everything?
Ooh. Well, I mean, like, I just, in general, I'm an organized person, for the most part. Unless you come in my room after I've been trying to look for something. Then I'm not really that organized.
Or the back of your car.
I live out of my vehicle. It's okay. Like, there's suitcases, there's clothes, so you never know. But, yes, I'm always prepared. Stay ready so you don't have to get ready.
Yeah, that's right.
But, balancing it has been tough. It's something that I'm, like... It's an ongoing battle, I'll say. Especially because, like I said, I work from 8:30 to 5:30 in Culver City, which is an hour away, depending on traffic. And then I have to sit in traffic on my way home. But literally, I am so... When it comes to lunch breaks, folks be like, how did you do that in an hour? I'm like shipping.
She be everywhere.
Yes,
lunch.
I'm in the mall for 30 minutes. Then I'm shipping off stuff. I'm reading a book. I got my laptop. I'm trying to knock out a blog post all in an hour.
My brother Ashton be like, damn, she got magical lunch hours. Because, like, I swear, and I'll be around Ashton and he'll be talking to her. And I'm like, oh, what you doing? And she's running around. And it does for like 2 hours later. He'd be like, hey, it's like, oh, I'm still doing this and that. Like, what? What kind of lunch is this?
Exactly. You just have to make sure that you're like using your time wisely. So for lunch breaks, if it means that I have to eat my lunch but still be working when I'm at work, then that's what I'm going to do. And so I can, use my whole hour and do what I need to do. So I definitely use my little hour lunch break. And then when I get home, I try and make sure I have like some type of to-do list so that I'm on task when I get home, because it's easy for me to get sucked up by some reality TV, because I love TV. I hate to say it, but it's my guilty pleasure. I love TV, and so definitely just trying to stay very like proactive on the weekends, especially. So like. We did those pictures yesterday. I got up with a brand, got some clothes. Like it's just trying to stay motivated, and I got to keep it moving. I'm always moving.
I guess that helps that you love it, though. I mean, otherwise you couldn't make it. I don't think trying to force that if it wasn't something that was really like in you.
Oh, absolutely not. Because I mean, of course, it would be easier for me to just go lay down and chill or whatever. But it's funny because somebody was like, "How's your new apartment?" I'm like, "Girl, I'm never home," but I love it. I'm paying rent for a place for me to lay my head, but I'm never there. So, but yeah, I try and keep some type of to-do list, so I'm on it. I veered away from agendas lately, which was my thing. Like I was like, but I don't know. I just need my little paper so I can write it down and then fold it up, put it in my pocket, whatever is easy for me to keep seeing it, so I can start knocking stuff off.
I feel you on that, because sometimes it changes like the method you use.
Yeah,
it's almost like you get immune to doing something a certain way. Then you're like, all right, I gotta switch it up. Yeah, I'm just doing it, but I'm not really like there.
Yeah, exactly. Because I think before I moved here, I was like real serious about it. I had an agenda for every freaking year, and I was like, it was like filled. Now I have a calendar and I don't even write in it. I'm like, well, now it's just for bills, like an old woman trying to make sure her bills
together. Gonna come out.
Oh my gosh!
So they're gonna get you.
Yeah, so definitely trying to stay organized with that.
Derria, I have a question for you, because an episode that came out before yours was on burnout. How do you take care of you, and how do you? So you said how you balance, but how do you take care of you so you don't feel like you burn out, or do you feel like you're burnt out and it's kind of like reacting to that?
Like, how do you fill your cup?
So I would have to say, I I like to get my nails done every 2 weeks, so that's self-care. I do that, and I'll get a design, and that may be a little pricey, but I'm like, spicy. I know, I get real spicy with the designs, and it's so funny because it takes me back to like high school, because I used to have a design on every nail in high school. But I'll do that, and food. That's why I'm in the gym at 5 a.m. because I like food. So yeah, like I like to eat, try new restaurants or whatnot, and maybe I'll sit and watch TV for a couple hours.
That's real
good. And unwind. You mentioned reading books during lunch.
Oh yeah. Books. I've lately I haven't been as good as I should as far as reading books, but I know that I need to read. Like even as an adult, I feel like we some of us veer away from it after we get out of school because we're like, oh, I ain't gotta read no books. But it's like, how do you feed your brain? Like, how do you feed your brain?
That's like under 10% of people pick a book up after they graduate.
Oh, it's wild, but it's like you need those self-help books, like Outwitting the Devil. What was another book? The Alchemist.
Yes.
There's so many books that like
self-help classics.
I know.
I read that every year. I like read it, and every time I'll be like,
I get
yep. every time I'll be like,
that is a reread book.
It was there all along.
There's a ton. Yes, there's a ton that I've gotten over time, and I'm just like, well, I guess it's time to read this book over so I can see, so I can get my mind right. Because if you're not feeding your mind, I mean, because of course I may sit and watch my reality TV, and it's some crap. So, but you got to balance. Life is all about balance. So,
well, so get specific about with what would Derria wear, your blog, and the things that you're working on. Like, what are some things you're excited about now that you're working on, and how are you trying to branch or expand whatever makes the most sense for you from, all right, it being all your time, I'm styling, I'm doing this, to how can we make this like a bigger brand?
Okay, so, I mean, obviously I'm still blogging. And there was a period of burnout.
And what is the website?
It's whatwouldderriawear.com.
Okay. How do you spell Derria?
Derria. D as in dog. So, yeah. But I had a period of burnout like over the summer where I wasn't blogging at all. And I was just posting pictures on Instagram. I think that was enough for me because I'm like, people still see I'm doing something. I'm still alive, y'all. But I was like, man, I was feeling uninspired. I'm like, what the heck do y'all want me to talk about? Or what should I wasn't feeling it. And I was like, man, do I really want to blog anymore? Like, so, but recently I've gotten more motivated, I guess, in a sense, and I think that just takes like getting on the internet, seeing what's going on, like what's new, like what's going on, so that I can get everybody else hip, because not a lot of people know about the newest trend. Like on my timeline, I'm seeing tons of snakeskin, like that's a new trend. Newspaper print, that's a new trend. Not everybody sees that on their timeline, so if I'm telling them like what's up, like they have a place to go, they can go to whatwouldderriawear.com. So yeah, like, I mean, outside of the blog, I think that is going to be, like, that's on the small scale for me, because there's more things that I want to do. Definitely working on some type of styling app, and you know, that's something that me and Lex have been kind of talking about and working on.
Why did that come about,
So, I have personal shop and styled Lexi a few times.
I hate shopping.
And Lexi hates to shop.
When I go in the store, I do this, like, nope, I don't see nothing. I don't want to even go through the racks.
And that's a normal thing for some people. People don't like going through racks.
But it's like, I like to look nice, but I don't
like
shopping.
You don't want to, and that's why they're stylists and personal shoppers. I think I like styling, but I like to obviously put it together with personal shopping. So you're saying like, hey, I'm going on a trip, I don't really know what to get. Here's $300. Do what you need to do. And I'm just like, all right, so I'm gonna make sure you got like looks, 4 or 5 looks, but or maybe I'm just gonna buy a whole bunch of stuff and we're gonna put it all together, you know? So definitely with the app, it'll be more of a virtual styling app for those people that maybe want me to style them or whatnot, but they don't live here in LA. But not saying I don't have clients that live in other states, because I do. I have people that live in DC, North Carolina, like Alabama. Like I have people all over the United States, but like it'll be easier for you to have access to me and my expertise. So working on that, and definitely because I have knowledge with blogging and things like that, I'm trying to to do a course.
I see a lot of that lately where it could be whatever subject they're great at. It's the fact that they built it. Like, so a guy who has like an awesome podcast, forget the subject of the podcast. Everybody's like, how do I do a podcast?
Yeah.
Right.
So with you, a lot of people are just like, how do I even do a blog?
I get tons of messages about like, hey, how do I start a blog? And I'm like, dog, you know.
And don't you want to be like, just why can't you just Google this?
Well, of course, but it's like some people just
that's cool
don't.
How they trust in you.
Yeah, exactly, and it's fine, but it could be overwhelming, and that's why I had to get to a point where I'm like, all right, I'm gonna give you a little bit in this DM that you just sent me. Like, yeah, you should be consistent and figure out what you want to blog about. But it's like now I'm like, I've gotten so many messages. I'm like, well, why not do a course on this so I can tell you what the real deal is? This is what you need to get. This is how much it's going to cost. So I can really give you the knowledge that you're asking for. I can't give you that in no DM, and I'm not. Yeah,
but you do feel confident in it. So
definitely.
So it's not like an imposter syndrome. Like, it's just little old me. I don't know what to tell you.
No.
She's like, I've been doing
you
this.
Get paid for that intellectual property.
Exactly.
Because everybody else make a course about. Oh my gosh, anything.
And don't actually give quality information.
Anything. And you'd be mad watching the course like,
I know.
I already knew this.
I've taken a couple of courses where I'm like, dog, I wasted some money.
Yeah.
I wasted some freaking money. But my course, when I do finish it and everything, will be catered towards people who do not know how to blog. It's blogging 101 for people that don't know how to start a blog, ain't never had a blog. They're very, very clear.
How people will try to keep like, I want to know more, I want to know more, and I want to know more. And to me, those are like the people who's like, dog, you don't just stop and just execute.
Exactly. You got you have the tools. You just need to do it. So this is for people who want to do a blog but don't know how to. Ain't had one. Just it's basic stuff. This is like coming into elementary school and you don't know what you're about to do. So doing that. And what else am I?
Why do you go to? I noticed you go to like a lot of events or like pop-ups. Is it just kind of being on the scene, or what is your strategy? I guess to navigate and integrate into LA communities.
Really, just kind of connecting with other bloggers and influencers, other creatives. So that's number one for me when I do go to events. But I'm also trying to rub elbows with these brands because outside of me blogging and creating these other things, it's like I still want to like work with Target. Like that's one of my top goals for this year is to work with Target because clearly I'm in there and I need to be clocking in because I'm in there so much and I'm telling y'all to go and y'all spending money, so it's like why not try and work with them. So I got a contact. I'm just like trying to. There's fear and there's also like okay, you have letters that you can send to this person, but are you too scared to do it? Like, do you think they're going to tell you no? So I'm at that point where I'm like, man,
we gotta take a risk again.
I know. It's like
and then next thing you know, you're gonna be on a billboard. I'm gonna be like, that's my friend.
Amen, Lord. Do you hear her?
No, you will definitely.
At the beginning when I introduced you, I mentioned like I like how you tend to take action very quickly. I feel like we talked, or no. Because I've been saying it for like years, like, oh, I'm gonna make these videos, girl, bye. But with you, I remember you being like, I think I'm gonna start doing some videos. Next thing I know, this fool Derria done put up like a video like the next day, like going in. So what's going on with you and like YouTube and videos?
And it's funny you said that because I was. At one point, I was like, Derria, you should do a YouTube channel. But I was like, I hate what I sound like.
Everybody hates what they sound like.
I have a deeper voice, and I was just like, man, I remember being in like, what is that class where you have to, public speaking? And I watched myself back and I was like, throw that VHS in the trash.
Not the VHS.
Yes, because there was a VHS at that point. And I'm like, no, that ain't for me. But I was like, people are asking me, what's your skincare routine? And I'm like, Instagram TV wasn't around at that point. So I was just like, now that I have my, ring light and my phone can do whatever, like Apple makes it so freaking easy. There is no excuse. Because at first I was like, man, I don't want to have to spend like $500 on a freaking camera. But now I don't. I spend $1,000 over a period of time for this phone. So I'm like, okay, just go ahead. You don't have an excuse. Like, I can go on Canva and make a freaking logo quickly. Like that's all I did. I ended up using Fiverr, but for them to fix it up for me. But did that, made the channel, and I just made my first video, and it looked rough. But it's like I think more people.
You just did it.
Yeah, I just
we're like
did
more
it.
critical of ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely. But and then I get. I start thinking about like what I gravitate towards when I'm watching YouTube. I want to see somebody who is looking like me, maybe a little real. So I'm like, Derria, it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be like, you don't have to have a backdrop. Just make sure you got a blank wall. They don't have your shoe print from when you killed a spider or something. Like, I don't know. Like, just do it. Like, I'm definitely been a person of action. Like, I don't want to keep and just thinking about it. Like when you keep saying, "Oh, I'm gonna do this. Oh, I'm gonna do this." Don't you get sick of hearing your mouth?
I know that's right. I'll be so fed up.
Like, don't even talk about it anymore. Don't tell nobody else about it because you don't want to hear them.
And sometimes we get hyped up off of talking about it, and people being like, "Oh, that's high, that's tight."
Yeah.
And you be like, "Oh, okay." Like you kind of feel like you did something. You ain't did nothing.
Ain't did a thing.
And that's most people. I feel like in LA, especially. I mean, I think it's probably everywhere, but especially in LA, they be like, "Oh, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do this," and you ask another question, and then there's no depth to it.
There's no actions behind it.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I definitely had to learn that moving here. Because, I mean, a lot of people talk and they're like, oh, I want to, can you do this?
Let's build.
Yeah, let's build. And I'm like,
and then you also realize, too, like, I'm the I'm the one you can leverage. Like, you can't even really do anything with me. Like,
yeah. So I'm like, definitely have to have some type of, you have to have a vision and keep it moving.
Have to be able to say no to things that are outside of that.
A tunnel vision.
Tunnel vision, because you can get really wrapped up in what people are saying, and everybody talks a good game, but when it comes down to that budget, though, where's that budget at?
Do you have a budget? Well,
okay. Because I mean, I've definitely worked for free. That it didn't start all like, Derria, well, we can offer you this. It's been like, okay, I can provide the clothes. We just gonna return it because I really want to be on this project, or I want to do this. But now I've gotten to a point where I'm like, all right, I did a couple or a lot of free stuff. I can't anymore. Yeah.
What's your dream? Not necessarily dream job, but like a job isn't a project. Like, would it be to style a particular person or a particular like event or thing, to shop for a particular person, anything like that?
Recently, I think I get really excited when I go see movies, and I'm like, I wonder who's on the wardrobe for that movie or for that show. Yeah,
costume design.
Yeah. So I've started.
I got some people.
I started paying attention to that feeling, and I'm like, okay, dear, you get really excited when you're like watching movies, and I'm talking about excited about like clothing, guys. But yeah, like, oh man, like, I could only imagine how somebody feels to be going out to get stuff for like Denzel.
Yeah.
What? Or Tracy Ellis Ross? Are you kidding me? Exactly. So I'm like, I would love to get into that, or just even styling celebrities in general. And that was a huge reason why I moved here, because I was like, what the hell am I doing in North Carolina? Because people have hit me up, like, I remember someone reached out to me even when I was in North Carolina, like, hey, we need to style, I forgot what guy group it was. It's an old guy group.
Josie, B2K.
B2K?
No, it's an older, like our parents' era. I can't remember. Either way.
Stylistics.
Not that damn far, Lex. Damn.
I mean, my parents are older.
I know. I'm just saying. But yeah, like, either way, they were like, hey, we need somebody to style for the BET Awards, but they didn't have no budget. And I was just like, how the hell am I going to get up there? So I was just like, no. So definitely would love to do that. Get into rubbing elbows with stylists, and it doesn't have to be my thing, because I'll style a basketball wife. I'll style anybody. I'll style your dog. If you got a budget for your dog and that's what you like to do, cut the check. I'll get your dog a purse, some shoes, a scarf. We're gonna get them right in the streets. Yeah, man, woman, child, dog,
funny thing is,
whatever.
I can think of a few people with dogs that they be styling them.
Yeah.
You know, Addison, my youngest brother, he be having the bubble vest and the Timbs.
What's his name again?
Peanut.
He's
Peanut be out here thugging. He popping. That's so funny. So, all right, as we kind of start to close it up, and you think about your story and the things and the values that kind of helped you push through, what are some of your kind of like tips or advice, or like just words of, I don't want to say help, but that things that somebody may need to hear that you would have wanted to hear when you're like, man, I know this, but I'm not sure. Like making that move and taking risks.
Making that leap.
Definitely. I mean, depending on what you believe in or whatnot, I knew I had to get deep into my faith. Because I am a Christian, but I don't go to church every Sunday. I have a relationship with God, so I was like, I'm really gonna have to we gonna have to sit down and talk, because clearly you got all the answers and I don't. So definitely figuring out your higher power or whatever, talking to them, figuring out what it, telling him what it is that you want, and just sticking to that, like, and feeling confident in that, and not letting anything that anybody says to you, like, deter you from that. Because just bring it back, I had a family member, he lives out here, and when I told him I was moving here, he was like, why you want to move here? Like, and I wasn't hitting him up to say, like, hey, can I come stay with you? I was just saying, like, hey, cuz I'm moving here, and he's older, he's like my mom's age or whatever. But he just was like, and then once I found out I was moving without a job, or at one point I was gonna be moving without a job, he was like, why would you move here without a job? Are you crazy? Why would you do that? You definitely don't need to be moving here without a job. And I'm just like, dog, what's going on? Even my father, which is crazy, he did the same thing. Like, and I'm like, this is my blood. Like, why would you?
It's like a different generation.
It is, because they're all about,
like, we gotta
being
do
secure.
Stability. You have to be secure.
They love
even
stability.
Ours always, you could come back home if you need to. I'm like, are you good?
Right. But definitely not letting those, those people that are close to you and those that aren't close to you, like, influence what you're gonna do. Like, if you said, I'm moving to Dubai, and that's what you want to do, you need to sit down, make a plan, start preparing, saving money, making connections, and keeping it moving. Like,
make it real. Like in your story, when you said, like, oh, I knew it was going to be $1,000 to ship my car. So, until you start researching.
Yeah, I was looking.
You can't just say, I want to do this. What needs to be a part of it to do it?
Yeah, you just really have to get serious about it, because if you're just talking about it, folks will be like, so when you moving to Dubai, and it don't happen, then what you gonna say? Like, aren't you gonna feel like, and everybody can change their mind, because I could have easily said, well, I'm not going to LA, y'all. It just changed my mind, and that's perfectly fine. You can do whatever you want, but if you're gonna talk about it, be about it.
How do you feel about the people, because sometimes on social media I see people judge, like, Diddy and people, like, when people make it, and it seems like it's easy to say, I'm about to say us, like I made it, but not me, but it seems like it's easy to be like, just make a choice, like, do it, go for it, and then everybody's like, yeah, but, like, that's easy to say when you made it and you have all this money, whatever, but at the same time, it's like,
everybody started from somewhere.
It is a choice.
He didn't always have that.
Exactly.
So, but it's interesting, because it's also like, all right, like, if you hadn't had the job, would you have moved? Like, and should, because even for me, it's hard sometimes when people are like, well, should I quit my job, or when should I know to quit? And I'm like, bro, you might need to keep that, like, benefits, do what you can do. Like, I'm not here to tell nobody just, like, wow.
No, absolutely not.
So, it still has to be smart, but also it is, like, if you want it, you really got to do it. So, like, what is that balance?
Exactly.
But it also has to be for you, because our journeys look very different on how y'all got here.
Exactly.
And they continue to look very different.
Very
we're
different.
all at the same table right now.
Exactly.
Like, and so I think people have to figure out what's best for them, right? Like, on this
I don't even remember moving here. I was just here with the suitcase. Like, I was just like, sound good.
Dog, I thought LA was a good idea. Then I started looking at the rent prices. And
I was like, yeah.
That's what I'm like, I don't even know what I was thinking, because I just came in and I was on my friend's, like, sofa for, like, 4 months, and then I was like, I'm gonna figure it out.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think when you have those small wins, like, after a while you build the confidence where it's like, I don't even know, like, what's gonna happen, but like,
you just have to do it.
And like you said too, like, and I know, like, if I could go home, so I know that I do have certain, I don't even know if that's a privilege necessarily, but, like, there's certain things I'm like, all right, I know I can depend on my family if I have to go home. I mean, they can't send me no money or nothing, like, they don't have it like that, but it's like, all right, if I have any space to make a move or take a risk, like, why not just take it? Because would you have regretted it, you think?
Yeah.
Do you still even regret that first time? Or is it now, like,
no, now I'm
just
like, it was a part of my path. I had to go through that to be like okay, yeah, that was now it was perfect timing. Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly how it was supposed
where
to
would if I would have gone, where would I be? Like, would I be back at home? Like, after I moved and came back, because I was so scared and didn't have anybody here, literally, because I wouldn't have had you guys here, like, nobody would have where I don't know. I'm fine with it because it came back full circle, and I'm able to be like, man, that was perfect timing. Everything kind of lined up, and it was like, Derria, you better go.
I set it up for you. I didn't know all those details.
I know.
That's so cool, and it's almost like God's giving you like those hot like chapters for your book, or like for when you do go on whatever like talk show Ellen or whatever, and it's gonna be like, yep, like it's always like a great story.
It is, and that's
you just have to follow it.
That's why I also wanted to ask about the fears and things, because that's so real. Like, you're here and you made it out to the other side, but that doesn't mean you still don't have those, and that you didn't have to go through that.
Exactly.
You wouldn't be here. I feel like taking risks fortifies faith. Like, it's easy to be faithful when everything is secure and you can see what you're doing tomorrow. You know that check coming on the 1st and the 15th, but whenever you don't. And
it's
you
real. It gets so real. You just have to be like, man, I trust you guys.
Coming up, and I'm already like,
I don't know how many times I tell God, like, I trust you. I do. I trust you and I love you.
And you gotta mean it.
And you gotta mean it, because I mean, he already know what it is. But
well, before we go into the question of the day, Derria, appreciate you coming on, telling your story. I'm sure because you already have such a big community, so I'm sure they're gonna be even more inspired. And for me personally, thank you for every time I like text you an outfit or ask you a question, I'll be like, I don't know what to match with this. Like to Derria, I'll hit her for that. Like she will like throw me some old clothes and like help me donate. She cleaned out all the clothes in my closet, so now I only have 3 shirts.
Cut it out.
I really have only bought 1 shirt since then, but like she like really like knows what she's doing, and it's so much better and so much more fun and valuable to work with somebody when they love what they're doing. So that like rubs off. So it's like, man, like it is inspiring.
It is, and thank you for coming on the couch.
Yes,
Carlie's
couch.
Screenshot us, tell us either about your taking risks and leaps in faith, or things you have to say to Derria at DLolo, DLOLO. But thank you for sharing your heart with us and your story.
I know. I didn't really want to get emotional on
it's
here.
It's hard, but sometimes it's like a good. Carlie tried to give me a couple times too.
I do nothing.
But it's when it comes out of your actual mouth, and you're like, wow, like
right, it really
it's
happened.
Not just like a story. It's like,
it's you.
It really happened.
Right, exactly.
But your story is so important, and for people who do follow you, who may think that your life has always been together, and it was so easy for you to move out here, and she probably has money and all that stuff. No. Girl, she be working and doing the same thing, and that
I got 5, 6
That's why I'm like, what's your dreams? What you trying to do? Because you never know who's gonna hear, or see, or whatever. So tell us now, where do you want people to find you? What are you looking for? Follow you on the gram.
Yes,
connect
follow me on
brands.
Instagram at DLolo, DLOLO. Definitely check out the blog, subscribe. whatwouldderiawear.com. And then I'm on YouTube under What Would Derria Wear. What else do I have going on?
If you work at Target's offices.
Right. If you have some Target contacts that work with influencers, please. I'm trying to work with y'all. Seriously.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Thank you.
And if you want to be styled or personal shopped for, you can hit me up too.
Yeah, what kind of clients are you looking for? For all of the different things, or is something you like more than others? Or?
No, I'm open to men, women, children, dogs.
I promise y'all, if y'all give Derria like
what amount you about to say?
$100, I promise you're gonna have them fits off.
Yeah,
I promise.
And then we can test that theory because my 30th birthday is coming up.
Okay.
And I need some fits.
You're gonna get them fits off.
We're gonna get the fits together.
And she gonna get my athleisure wear right. We gonna talk about it.
Oh yeah,
we gonna talk about it. That's what it's called.
Yeah, it is. It is.
You have hella yoga pants.
We end. Well, I don't like pants, but we end. I'm actually going to New York soon, and I'm like,
oh
man,
I
have no pants.
I don't own any jeans.
Well, you gonna have to have some on them legs,
right?
So our question of the day, Lex, hit him with the question.
Hashtag Carlie's Couch. Ooh, I'm gonna ask Derria first.
Ooh.
Question of the day. How can I make sure none of it goes to my head, good or bad?
Stay humble. It all can have, everything can be taken away from
you.
Kendrick Lamar.
Hey, we're on the same page with this.
Oh, I wasn't even thinking about Kendrick, but
sorry. Every time we say something,
y'all
both always have a different song. No, but we never connect.
It's always different.
We never connect. She always go old school, but we on it this time.
Yeah, I mean,
stay humble.
Stay humble. I mean, when you think about it, like people. I mean, in LA, definitely. We drive past people who are homeless, who live on the street, have straight up mattresses on the ground or don't have anything on the ground, like you can be there. Like it can, it very, very quick. It could just be one business deal away from that, or you just never know. So I don't ever want to be at a place where it's gone to my head. It won't happen with me because I feel like I'm very humble. And I know where I could be and where I have been. So to me, that's a blessing in itself. For me to be right here talking to y'all, because I could be at home in my mom's house on my little bed.
I'm about to say, sounded kind of good. Eating a good meal.
I know. With a full bank account.
Hold on, what's she doing?
Right.
No, that's real humble, like humility and remembering where you come from, like staying grounded.
Yeah, very grounded. I feel like you just have to, even just sorry to cut you off, but just in general, talking to family and stuff like that and hearing like what may be going on back at home and your grandparents and family members getting older, you're like, man, I gotta keep going because I want to get to a place where I can be taking care of y'all. I ain't gotta worry about you being in Buffalo and I'm all the way in LA. You know what I'm saying? Like, so y'all can be here. When I start having kids and stuff, like, I need babysitters. So we gotta get it right.
Right. On them Target billboards.
Yeah. So it's like staying focused on your purpose and staying in alignment with your passions. Like you mentioned tunnel vision earlier. Yeah. It's not letting any of that stuff sway you from doing what you need to do.
Absolutely not. Because it's easy to get
sidetracked.
Yeah.
Carlie, do you have an answer for the question of the day?
That was mine. So just staying focused, like definitely staying centered and grounded in your purpose and realizing that no matter what, good or bad days, like you're still working towards that thing and giving back. And when you're passionate about stuff, it helps. That's why I always say passion. My mentor has this thing, your passion will lead you to your purpose. Always.
I believe that.
I think mine's probably just a different way to say some of the same thing. Because how can I make sure none of it goes to my head, good or bad? For me, I would say, and this is something I struggle with actually, is to stay as focused as I can on the present moment. Because kind of like you said, like there's been times I've been super up, there's been times I've been super down, but it's like right now, like, all right, what am I focused on right now? That's going to basically determine like what's happening without thinking too far ahead and what happened, but just nothing matters about what's going on outside of that, but like what I'm doing right now. So just kind of just focusing on like the task in front of me, I guess.
That's real.
I love it. I'm ready to take a risk.
God. Take a risk with D Lolo.
Yes.
Thank y'all for joining us. Happy Monday.
Thank you for having me, guys. This is my second time being on the podcast, so this is good.
Oh, we're special.
Yeah.
I'll tell you,
we're going to be the ones to get you that Target, I guarantee.
We are. We're going to get you that Target, girl.
I'm here.
Y'all go check out our stories. She'll be putting together some fits for you.
You bring your money. Bring your pocketbooks and your wallet.
And your dog.
And your dog.
Cut the check.
Bye, y'all.
Bye. They're trying to get that money, though.
Get that money, though.